All right, welcome in everybody. Here talking some Monday Night Football, along with just recapping the last week in NFL. We got me and Yash here today.
Good.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. Feel a little weird about that Rashee Rice game, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
My worst stance probably, but
Hey, the Olave over Brian Thomas take was never looking better than it was yesterday. I will
hey,
say.
bro, Wandale too, bro. Don't forget about him. Hey, what's good, Frizzle?
What up, Frizzle? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, that was a crazy game from Olave, and Brian Thomas had a rough one for sure. Let's just get right into it. Let's look at some of these games that happened yesterday and just talk through them real quick before we get into Monday night. So first of all, we had that Rams-Jacksonville game. I didn't
Craziness.
really have any major takeaways from the Rams side. I think it was kind of what we expected. No Puka. Adams got fed the ball. Stafford threw for 5 touchdowns, which wasn't really what we expected, but we know Jacksonville's susceptible to the pass. Had a feeling this could be a good spot for them. We were low on Kyron this week. We were big on Adams. Those both smashed. And then looking at the Jacksonville side, Travis Hunter, first big blow-up game. Do
Don't
you have
forget
any
about
initial
Parker, bro.
thoughts on that?
The coaches weren't lying. That's my initial thought. They said it. They said we're gonna do our best to get him a lot more first look plays, and that's exactly what they did. Makes me a little lower on Brian Thomas Jr. They did, in fact, upload the snap shares already, which is huge. So we have Travis Hunter 64, Parker Washington 65, Brian Thomas 50, probably just because he got injured. But either way, that's looking like a 3-receiver split. And Brian Thomas Jr. is probably going to have the hardest targets being the true X receiver. So I'm going to keep my stance on Brian Thomas Jr. I think he's probably down there at like receiver 24, 25 range. I don't think he's receiver 2 for me anymore easily.
Yeah. I'm big on this performance from Travis Hunter. What was encouraging? I take this game more as like just a positive on Hunter than a negative on BTJ. I think BTJ is kind of what we've been saying with him. He's kind of in that wide receiver 2 range boom bust here now. I think you can rely on him to get targets. You just don't know if he's going to be productive with targets. Travis Hunter on the other side, we talked about him being in on the talent and him just being like super raw as a receiver. What was interesting to me was that he didn't play any defense in the entire first half and only played, I think it was like 12 snaps throughout the second half. One of them was locking up Devontae Adams on a go route, by the way. So that was kind of sick.
I
But
don't even see that.
yeah, it was nice. He had a nice deflection. It was a good play. But anyways, I think that with that concern of him being raw, like the ideal Travis Hunter outcome for fantasy is him being used as primarily an offensive player, right? Like I know it's cool that he plays defense, but for fantasy, we don't care about that. Like unless he's getting a pick six, it doesn't get any fantasy points. So I'm encouraged by this usage from Travis Hunter. I said it last week on the show that I have been trying to buy him in Dynasty, and I'm just going to keep reiterating that point. Like, I think it's only going to be up from here, and this could be a really positive game and getting him some momentum. And with how Brian Thomas has been performing, like, I wouldn't be surprised to see this Jacksonville coaching staff want to rely more on Travis Hunter until we see more consistent play out of Brian Thomas. So that's my big takeaway.
I like the buy on Travis Hunter in Dynasty too. I think that's great. To note, Travis Hunter's being more used as a slot receiver, but they do play him outside sometimes. Yeah. Frizzle, I don't think you're that screwed, honestly. You might have a little sweat, but I don't think you're screwed.
I do say I'm worried about the Lions having a really good day through the air just because of how good Tampa is versus the run. You just got to hope that goes through JMO a little bit. You got to hope JMO catches a bomb or catches 2 tuds, something like that.
And big ups, LeBrons. I hope our start sits helped you.
Let's go.
Unless Mike Evans scores 55.
Yeah, exactly, Dustin.
Real.
I think the game script too, like definitely helped. They were playing from behind and couldn't run the ball for most of the game. So I think the stats did get a little inflated just because of kind of the scenario of that game, but it's still encouraging nonetheless. No, I'd
Yeah,
start JMO over Woody.
you're basically insulating against some risk. I like it.
All right, let's kind of skim through these games. Maybe just one takeaway from each. New Orleans, Chicago. I didn't
Love the
really have
Swift
anything
usage.
on Chicago. Yeah, Swift got used good amount. Olave had his first big blow up game, and I think that's
Mhm.
just generally one of my big takeaways for this week in terms of like daily fantasy drafts. Um, I wasn't getting to Olave earlier in the week just because I was getting to some bigger names that had worse matchups, but I think I need to be more matchup oriented because we've seen a lot of wide receiver ones get there against the Bears. So I wish I was more in on Olave this week. He's clear wide receiver one in the offense. And he's getting used downfield too, which is nice to see. Gets in the end zone twice on 5 receptions, which is ideal for fantasy purposes. So great performance from Olave. Yosh can victory lap this one. Odunze, I guess one takeaway I do have is Odunze only going 2 for 31 here. I know Fiery was giving us some flack for saying BTJ over Odunze a couple weeks ago, which I still think I would prefer Odunze, but that might not look so bad after this game here. He had a couple drops too, which were not great to see as well.
Kyle Monagai might be a nice stash too. 13 carries, really efficient on those carries. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw that goal line run too, where he like carried 4 dudes with him and they like stopped the forward progress. But like CMC did that same thing in the Niners game and they didn't call it forward progress. So I kind of like the talent we just saw with Kyle Monagai. I wouldn't hate stashing him.
You might be cooked with this Fiery. Not gonna lie. You just gotta hope JSN gets locked up.
Yeah, you
But
hope Derek
I don't
Stingley
know.
has a game. I don't know the answer to this because I don't always the Saints, but did Olave take some Shahid routes this week? He always had some deep routes, or did they finally connect? Olave's always kind of been a deep route guy, but
Yeah.
Shahid's just a little faster. So
They've been using Olave more downfield the last couple weeks for sure, though. His ADOT's gone up. And I think the Saints are making like a concerted effort to take some downfield shots. Like it seems like Kellen Moore's calling some plays for Rattler that they're just designed to like go downfield, which is nice to see. You always want higher ADOT wide receivers. It's always going to give you more week to week ceiling and give you just more upside. So I'm encouraged to see this usage from Olave. Let's talk about some other games. Miami, Cleveland. I got a victory lap this Judkins performance. We were hyping up Judkins all week, and he goes for 25 carries, 84 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Awesome to see. Nothing from the Dolphins side was really worth starting in fantasy. A-Chain had – it's crazy that this is kind of a floor game for A-Chain.
he's a beast.
Yeah. We were skeptical on the matchup all week for all Dolphins, and that take ended up playing really well. When we found out about the wins, we were talking in the Discord about how I didn't think Waddle was really startable, maybe as like a wide receiver 3 flex. And I was saying Waller also wasn't really startable this week, and neither of those guys were startable. Now Waller did get hurt, which was tough to see. Other than that, no other real takeaways from this game. Do you have anything, Josh?
No, it was just a windy game, run heavy, nothing much. Disaster class by Tua.
Yeah, do you see who Miami plays next week?
I did not.
They play Atlanta. Bijan is going to go for probably 200 rush yards against them next week.
Nah, Kyle Pitts game, bro. It's National Tight Ends Day.
Dude, no. Bijan's going to go for 200 yards.
I like Frizzle's take. Let's talk about the Jets game. Let's just skip down to the Jets game.
Yeah, so talking about Gadsden, we have been shouting him the last couple weeks, but we've also been shouting Mason Taylor. I think I would prefer Gadsden from this point out.
Really?
But it's just a way better offense. Like, I just don't feel great about any Jets pieces. I know we were bullish on Breece Hall. I think we need to nuke Breece Hall down in our rankings. I think just, especially with Garrett Wilson out, this offense is just so bad and so stagnant. Like, what is the upside in starting a Jet?
Yeah.
I don't know. We know tight ends are boom bust anyways for the most part, and we just saw Gatson with an 150-yard game, which at the tight end position, you don't see games like that too often. Like showing you have that ceiling in your range of outcomes isn't it's not usual for a tight end, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was big on the profile out of college. I can pull up my underdog best ball shares and show you I've been drafting him in the offseason. I was betting on him last year when he was at Syracuse. I'm a fan of the talent. I like Mason Taylor too, but I'm really worried about this Jets offense. I think I was underrating just how bad they were.
Yeah, I'll agree with that take. Actually, I like Mason Taylor. Still think he's going to end up being the number 2 pass catcher in this offense. But what is this offense? Right? It's a dumpster fire. So I gotta agree with that take. Temper expectations with Gadsden. I mean, that was kind of like a ghost game by McConkey and QJ. Honestly, I think one of QJ's touchdowns got like I don't know if it was called back, dropped, or what, but I just saw him get an end zone target that was not a touchdown, and I was sad.
It was a bad throw from Herbert, but he still did get in the end zone.
And I guess while we're talking about the Chargers, I'll just keep talking about the Chargers. Chargers receiving core takeaway for me. I would just personally put the rankings how you would have had them weeks 1 through 4, right? So in my head, it's still probably going to be Keenan, QJ, Ladd. Probably put Gadsden.
You have Keenan wide receiver 1?
Yeah, I think I will. Because
Really?
like we saw one good game from McConkey, and that was enough for a lot of people to drop Keenan down from the receiver 1 in that offense to receiver 3. But they get Joe Alt back, and what do? They go back to playing.
They actually didn't have Joe Alt back. He didn't play this week.
Mm.
Yeah.
Either way, it's
But he'll
like
be back next week. It was
they're
like he was
losing
close
who
to
they lean
playing.
on. They leaned on their veteran Keenan Allen GOAT, bro. Like I think you just gotta put some like Mike Evans level respect on Keenan Allen's name, you know?
Yeah, my Keenan Allen trending down take definitely didn't age well. I still think I prefer Ladd to Keenan rest of the season.
I think they'll probably end similar, to be fair.
We
Like
also talked about this week, dude, though the Colts, there's slot corner Kenny Moore is their only respectable DB. So Ladd was really the only one who had a tough matchup of these wide receivers.
but QJ didn't have a game, really. It was just Keenan and Arondre.
Yeah. But QJ still scored a touchdown. He still got some targets downfield, which honestly, I think Herbert just played like kind of shaky game for his I think the not having Joe Alt's been really big on his like timing. His accuracy just doesn't look Justin Herberty the last couple weeks. I don't know. I think getting Alt back will definitely help him out. I still prefer Ladd just because I do think Keenan is a walking injury risk. Like he kind of feels like a ticking time bomb at this point.
I get that.
I hope not, but we'll see. Then Jonathan Taylor just goes nuts. I think he's got to be the RB1 rest of the season.
Or CMC.
Or CMC.
Pretty close.
Or Bijan. Like, dude, they're all so
same
good.
Tier. Just same tier, S tier guys. You are not moving unless you're getting Jamar Chase plus type trade. Like, I have no reason to move those players off my team.
Yep. We did say we thought he would break one. Just so happened he only broke it from 23 yards out. So we didn't hit the over 24.5 bet for plus money, but definitely feel like we hit this one on the head a little bit with saying we like this Chargers, or we like the Colts run game. Didn't like the Chargers run defense. Thought JT could have another big game. Sure enough, 16 for 94, 3 tuds. Do we have any thoughts on Alec Pierce? 10 targets, 5 for 98, producing.
He's always been like that role player downfield guy for them. Even last year with Josh Downs, he's always done that. And just him being on the field more because they're blocking, because they have one of the best running backs in the league playing at a top level. He's going to be on the field more than Josh Downs. So I wouldn't be surprised if he continues to see downfield usage, maybe drop it down to like 5-6 targets a game. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, even Josh Downs last week, that was kind of fluky. Like 3 targets in the first like quarter, and then he got 3 for the rest of the game.
Yeah. I know we've talked about also too not liking to attack this Chargers defense through the air.
Yeah.
But they've been giving it up through the air the last couple of weeks, so we might need to readjust that when we're evaluating week to week stuff.
Real quick to answer some questions before we get too far behind. Gargano. I don't think the Bears are that good. I think Ben Johnson's a good head coach. I saw something like the league is shifting towards an offensive league, so offensive-minded head coaches on general are just better. I think out of the 5 new coaches that got hired, only 2 are offensive coaches, and those 2 are the ones with running records. And then Mike Vrabel.
And then Vrabel, yeah.
Yeah, just doing his thing. And also the Saints had like their entire secondary was out. We were looking at the injury report, so it wasn't really a great matchup for them. And I agree with Frizzle. I think Jaden Higgins could finally have a game where it's like, oh, maybe he was worth taking at the top of the second round. And Gargano, I am in your fantasy league. Yes.
I think I might like Jalen Noel more than I like Higgins tonight.
Really? Why?
Because I think Noel is going to be more of like a traditional slot guy, and there's no Christian Kirk.
I like it. I like that process.
And my bold take in the pre-draft process was that I like Jalen Noel more as a talent than I liked Higgins. They went to the same school in college, get drafted the same NFL team. I like Noel more. It's just my personal take, but I don't not like
some
Higgins.
Teams liked him too. I heard that like a buzz, like some teams liked him over Higgins, so they just took both.
CMC won rest of the season. Yeah, I mean, I can't really fault anyone for having CMC, Bijan, or JT as their one. I think it's a tier of those 3 guys, and maybe you can loop HN in there, but I don't know if you can just because of the offense concerns. Yeah.
Is Ricky Pearsall injury prone? I mean, he got shot. I don't really think he's been injured since then, or I might be wrong.
What do you mean? He's injured right now.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why he's injured though. I need to see.
He got injured last year too, and he was always banged up in college too. He might be a little injury prone, but
PCL.
Dude, some guy wanted Baker, Jamar, Brees, and McBride for CMC and Bowers. What? Baker, Jamar? No. Yeah. Jamar and McBride. I wouldn't even do Jamar and McBride for CMC and Bowers, I don't think.
You're getting a player who's on a mediocre team and isn't playing with a good quarterback in Bowers. I wouldn't buy Bowers. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole, bro.
I will say Bowers could smash after the bye. Like, I don't like the offense concerns, but he's actually going to be healthy now when he gets back, ideally. So I don't hate buying Bowers, but I don't want to be like tearing down from McBride to buy Bowers.
You're right, Gargano. We're colluding.
All right, let's skim through some of these other games. Titans, Patriots, Travion Henderson, only 2 carries. Ramondre still being used like a workhorse. Is Travion Henderson droppable in redraft?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Like, I dropped Tyra. Okay. Here's what I'll say about Travion, right? I faded Travion all offseason in underdog. Then when it came to redraft, I took him in one league as like my RB2. I was like, maybe I'm wrong. Now I'm feeling like I'm pretty right about Travion kind of being a fade, and Mike Vrabel just hates rookies. Like, even now, I just saw like the snap share for the Patriots, bro. Like, he's playing Efton Chisholm III damn near more than Kyle Williams right now. Like, what are we doing? Like, I think he might just honestly hate rookies. Like, so Ramondre hasn't had a great season, but he's still earning the trust. So I think you just got to look at the numbers and not use your brain with the Patriots, right? You just got to see, oh, this guy's getting the targets. He's playing. Like, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Terrell Jennings getting 5 touches, and Travion only getting 2. I be completely honest, I didn't even know who Terrell Jennings was until this week.
I didn't even know he was in the league.
Yep. But I'll say I'll probably hold Henderson one more week if I own him. And then if I see another sub 5-touch game from him, then he's droppable.
I mean, knowing this coaching staff, if Ramondre gets injured, they put Antonio Gibson RB1 over Travion.
Diggs did go 7 for 7 and 69 through the air. Encouraging to see a little bit of a bounce back from Diggs. Definitely like that. This is kind of on brand with his performances from the last 4 weeks. I know last week he didn't get there, but like we talked about, they had like a 50-yard pass interference called back. So he's had a pretty similar performances the last 4 weeks, I would say. Volume seems to be pretty consistent. I think we can definitely fire up Diggs going forward.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Raiders, Kansas City. I don't even want to talk about this game, but I will just say, as a Raider fan, I had a feeling this was just going to be a blowout. I bet on the spread, sent that to the Discord. That smashed. Rashee Rice getting used early and often, getting just fed the ball in the red zone. Seemed like they had like a very clear intention of getting him in the end zone today or yesterday, and that worked out for them. I don't know if we can expect that touchdowns every week for him going forward, but I think we can expect a lot of usage. Clearly, they want to use him in this offense and make him their wide receiver one, just on terms of a target perspective. So I think we need to fire up Rashee as like a low-end wide receiver one rest of the season.
Yeah, I like low-end wide receiver 1, high-end wide receiver 2 ranking, like probably around receiver 16 to 18 range. Maybe he'll go to like 14.
I'm a little higher than that, I think. I'm probably more like wide receiver 10 to 12.
I'm a big anti-Rashee guy, so we'll say that. I will say
let's go
this
through
on
some
the
wide receivers.
Real quick take on Rashee is the usage he was getting. Video I would encourage you to watch is Theo Ash's take on him, because I think it breaks it down how they used him really well. They kind of want to set him up for a lot of yak throws. I mean, you kind of see that in his stat line. Like, what was it? 7 catches off 10 targets for like 50 yards and 2 tuds. Like, I don't know if that's like the best usage for me to put him in a receiver 1 tier. He did get 4 out of 6 targets in the red zone. I think they're like damn near. Someone brought their kid, so that was the stupid. What should we call it? So I think he could be like a touchdown spiky guy to get into receiver 1 tier, like from week to week. But like in terms of his, like what I think his floor is, I think he's more of a high end receiver 2. And that's my distinction I'll make for him. Let's go through receivers though.
Okay. Yeah. I was just looking at my tiers, and I think I definitely have to move him up. All right. So obviously not Puka over Rashee, right? Puka, Amon-Ra, Lamb, JSN. I'll say you have comfortably over him, I'm sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's start with Jamar or Rashee.
Jamar.
Okay. Justin Jefferson or Rashee?
I kind of want to go Rashee, but I'm also low on JJ. I don't think JJ and Jamar should be close to each other in rankings right now.
I think I'm still Justin over Rashee, but it's close. Emeka Egbuka or Rashee?
Buka.
Why?
He's like getting downfield targets. He's going to get more yards. He's already shown us consistency in getting there in fantasy. He's a red zone threat. They have a banged up RB situation, kind of like the Chiefs. I just imagine the Chiefs don't even have RBs in my head. Like, that's how I look at the Chiefs running back room.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right. I can't fault you for that one. I think I might be Rashee over Egbuka, which I think I'm actually higher than I realized on Rashee when I'm going through these names. Pickens or Rice?
I think Pickens' floor, what was it this week? 12 points? I think his floor is like 12 to 15 points a week. I don't know what Rashee's floor is. Rashee's is also probably close. So I'll take Rashee. I think his upside's a little higher right now.
Odunze or Rice?
Rice.
Garrett Wilson or Rice?
Oh, that's just me. Dunze and Wilson are both fallers right now for me. Give me Rice.
Drake London or Rice?
London.
Nico Collins or Rice?
I'll answer that one after tonight's game.
Waddle or Rice?
Ooh, that's.
I
I'd
think it's
probably put him
gotta
in the
it's
same
gotta be
tier.
Rice. It's gotta
I'd
be
put him in the
Rice.
same tier, and I'd put Rice ahead of him in that tier.
Okay.
I can't do that to Waddle, but I think that's about where I'm at with Rice.
Okay.
So maybe
So,
I'm a little lower in
yeah,
my head than when I
yeah.
actually say the names, but
Yeah, you have him like kind of wide receiver 10 to 12, I think. That's what it seems.
I would definitely exercise caution before calling him a receiver 1. That's my concern.
Okay. That's fair.
Because like we had Wandale doing like the same type of usage, right? Like take away the touchdowns, right? I don't like doing that, right? Because I think it's a stupid argument most of the time. But take away the touchdowns, and Rashid basically got just like short catch and run, like PPR scammy targets. So for that reason, like, yeah, I love to see 10 targets, but Wandale gets 10 targets a week and everyone treats him like he's droppable, right? Obviously, way better offense, way better QB, way better situation, way better coach. Yeah, way better coach, right? But I'm going to exercise that caution before I start calling him a receiver 1.
For sure, dude. I don't want to spend too much more on these games because I want to talk about the games tonight. General takeaways: Eagles, Minnesota. Good to see Eagles bounce back. Saquon getting 18 carries, even though he didn't get there really for fantasy. Nice to see them try to get him established. I thought Hurts played a really good game. Devontae Smith had an insanely productive day. Almost half their team's air yards,
Great
or
game for
more
the
than half the
Packers,
team's air
bro.
yards. And I told everyone to bet Eagles minus 1.5. That cash with ease. Yeah. Any thoughts on Eagles real quick?
Saquon. I kind of want to look at Saquon, and is he a sell right now?
I don't think he's a sell. I think I'm just holding at this point.
I don't know. The Eagles are annoying because they just try to win. So
I
it's
just
always hard to project their offense, I feel like.
yeah. I just don't think I'm gonna get the value selling him that I deserve for your Saquon. And I believe their next game is against the Giants again. And I think that might be the get right game for this team.
I hope it is, bro. I hope they just slam the Giants.
At home, after just getting beat by them, Saquon's usage trending back up, revenge game. Like I could see a narrative for a big Saquon game for sure this week.
Hope we knock him
Carolina
over.
Jets, no takeaways besides. Oh, I guess we could talk a little about Rico Chubb. I think Rico was clearly more efficient despite them kind of splitting work. I think we can kind of rank them Rico as the 1 going forward, Chuba as the 2. I just don't know how startable either of them are going to be while they're splitting touches in an offense like this. So I think they're
Do you
going to be
think they're
both
like
pretty
Tony
matchup
Pollard
dependent.
tier? Like, where are you tiering them with like Tony Pollard or with like the Kenneth Walkers or like the Jalen Warrens? Where are we tiering these
I
guys?
think kind of with like Jalen Warren is where I'd put Dowdle. I just think their offense is a little. I mean, shit. The Panthers are over 500, so they're clearly a little bit better than the Titans. Yeah, that's what I think.
Fair enough.
Denver, New York, just an insane game. Don't really have any fantasy takeaways, but that one was just weird. Scat got there, which was nice to see against a tough defense.
DT was with them, bro.
Yeah.
Crazy game.
Live bet Broncos, that came through for us. Chargers, Colts, we already talked about. Dallas, Washington. Dallas guys all got there besides Pickens. Jaden Daniels goes down for Washington.
I didn't even look at the Washington receivers, bro. All I'm saying, if you guys tapped into the stream, I told you Jalen Lane over Luke McCaffrey, and while both of them did nothing, I think Jalen Lane at least got 2 fantasy points. So
I'm really glad I told you guys not to start Luke McCaffrey because he went big old goose egg in this one. JCM struggled. Are we worried about JCM?
what was his stats? Oh,
He was bad.
wow.
And he just didn't look great. Like, he didn't look very efficient. We know up until this point, the Cowboys have been a good run defense. I mean, a bad run defense. So I wasn't very encouraged by this.
Yeah. Gotta like the fact he got 13 carries. Jaden Daniels out. Maybe he'll run a little bit more.
Chris Rodriguez stole a goal line carry.
I'd almost just want to chalk it to like an off game, but if you traded for him, you probably paid a nice little penny that you don't want off games from him. Probably down to like a high end RB3, low end RB2. Probably put him next to Rico for now.
Yeah, I think that's about right. We can talk more through that situation as the week goes on.
Playing today.
We got Atlanta Niners CMC, just nuclear game.
Slow start for Kittle. I think he had like one catch. Hate to see it.
I think is he playing?
I think that's just got to go into like player process of coming off a big injury, first game back. I mean, when's the last time we've seen someone explode off that? Like, I feel like I'm kind of just sick of getting burnt by that. Even with Jalen Coker, like last week, like last Thursday, like 10 days ago, he said he was fine. Didn't play in that game. This week said he's fine. Gets clear to play. Gets like 2 targets. Like, I'm kind of over being high on guys coming right off an injury on their first game back. I think that's probably just something I'm going to add to my own process.
All right. I think that can kind of wrap up our takeaways from the games Sunday. If you guys have any more questions about any situations, get to them. But we'll kind of be talking our way through them throughout the week. Let's get into the games tonight. We got 2 fun ones, man. I'm really excited for this Tampa Bay Detroit game. This should be a really fun game in Detroit. I see Dylan just shouted Bucks money line. Dude, I'm torn on this game, man. I picked the Lions in my pick'em pool just because I think the Lions at home are going to be able to move the ball on offense. And I think their defense will be able to limit the Bucks a little bit with all their injuries. That being said, I would not fault you for taking the Bucks. Baker's just the way he's playing. It feels hard to fade Baker at this point. But it's also never feels great to fade the Lions at home. So either way, I don't have a major lean. If Baker, I will say though, if you were already looking at Baker Mayfield MVP futures, right now is the time to bet it, because if he goes and balls out tonight, we're going to see those odds jump like crazy. Let me pull this up actually. Wow. I'm thinking of that. Josh, do you have any initial thoughts on this game?
On this game in particular, not really. It's kind of just one of those 50-50 coin toss games. Bucks have like a genuinely good defense. The Lions have I just perceive them as a great all-round team. I think it's going to be great television. I think we forgot to talk about the Packers game, so I will bring up Matthew Golden. I think it's probably a riser. I would love buying low on him for the second half of the season. Or Dobbs, bro. Dobbs just receiver one in that offense for some reason. Don't know why.
Baker plus 320 to win MVP right now. Only behind Mahomes.
Yeah, Mahomes will probably get it. Stupid.
Yeah.
Mahomes probably also won't get fined for cussing 2 F-bombs on live television. Can't believe that guy. Rigged league.
Dude. Yeah.
I hope Baker gets MVP.
It'd be sick. Let's talk through maybe some player props for the game tonight. Like I said, no major lean on the side for this. I do kind of like what's worrisome is that the Bucks or Vegas is giving the Lions a 6.5 point spread, which that just feels huge for what I would expect this game to be, which that does kind of worry me if I'm betting the Bucks. But getting them for plus 234 feels pretty good.
I mean, they just got their injury report for Ibuka today, so that line could be before the Ibuka news. Because who was Baker throwing to this week? Like Tez Johnson, receiver 1, basically, unless Ibuka came back. So,
yeah.
Is Mike Evans playing?
Yeah, seems like Mike Evans is gonna play. I
Definitely
will.
a lot closer.
Let me see what Mike Evans anytime touchdowns at, because I always love a good Mike Evans anytime tug bet. Plus 114.
No Bucky.
You will probably see me betting Mike Evans anytime touchdown in the Discord. Plus 114. You just got to worry. Your worry is on the defensive side with stopping the Lions. Lions are really, really tough to stop at home.
The Lions are an elite team right now. With Ibuka, I don't see how they can't win.
And it looked like Vitor Belfort. Who even is that?
Is that like Jordan Belfort's son, bro? A Manster 23. I'm up by 20, and I still have 2 players to go. My opponent has a Monra to play, so a little scary, but I decided 2 people out of Ibuka, K9, Otton, or Sharp. Give me Ibuka, and then that's so weird that I have to think between Otton, K9, and Sharp.
Jameson Williams plus 188 anytime TD's calling to me right now. That feels nice.
Give me K9. But I don't really like any 3 of those. I hate picking between K9 and Sharp every week. A Manster, I have a team like that too. It sucks. Does Ibuka being a decoy?
If Ibuka's playing, I'm going Ibuka and K9.
I mean, not really a Manster. I'm worried about him playing off an injury, but like, think about how much worse you're gonna feel when Ibuka has 17 on your bench, and you're like, oh damn. Yeah. Like it's one of those things, you know.
I don't think you have any options that are worth taking that risk of benching Ibuka for.
Should I still start K. Dotton even when playing, or should I start Dalton Schultz?
I'd still start K. Dotton just because that game's going to be a lot better
competitive
to bet on. I think this could be a shootout for sure. I think this could be one of those games where it's the last team with the ball is going to win.
It's going to be like 30 points each.
And with this game, I worry about the offensive environment.
For Sutton, I had Sutton and Pittman in the same tier. I think Sutton just had another floor week, though, didn't he? Wall, Mims, and oh no, he had a good game too.
Yeah, he was okay.
You just made it sound like he had another bad game. I couldn't see him when I was sorting through all the top scoring players this week. Yeah, I still have him next to Pittman. I would say Pittman and Sutton are very comparable players right now in fantasy and somewhat in real life, but not too much.
All right, Yosh, any props that are popping you right away?
Let me see.
Baker pass yards like crazy. This was way lower earlier today.
Yeah, it's probably because the Ibuka news and Evans news.
I sent one to the chat or to the Discord earlier this morning, but I took Baker 1.5 passing touchdowns paired with Gibbs receiving yards. I forget the exact number I got him at, but I think it was 23.5. Let me check that for you guys.
Can you check Sam Laporta and also how Tampa Bay has been against tight ends? I think he might be interesting. He's trending up past few weeks.
Let's pull up Outlier here. This is the tool we use here to look.
Should I keep Pitts or Fannin? Fannin.
Pitts' usage last night was nice.
Yeah, and tight end day next week. I just think you just gotta love what Fannin offers, though. Like consistently, he has a higher floor.
So
Tampa has a higher ceiling.
Tampa Bay's allowed 2 tight ends to score twice against them. They allowed Goddard to get in twice and AJ Barner.
How about receiving?
Let's look at yards, receptions or yards.
Yards. Or actually, receptions, I feel like, is more giving.
Receptions. They let Tongus go over. They let Barner go way over. Mason Taylor went over, and Goddard went over.
So the good tight ends got over.
Pretty much.
What's Laporta at? 4.5? Oh, that's kind of high.
We could bump him down to 3.5, and that feels pretty nice.
He's trending up. Last 2 games, 6 targets instead of his normal 4.
Does he have receiving yards? No, there it is. Receiving yards is at 48.5. That also feels pretty high. Yeah, I think receptions looks better for sure. Let's go back to underdog. Look up.
He's running touchdown hot past 2 weeks, but I think it probably stops this week since Tampa Bay hasn't been letting tight ends in.
I feel good about this 3.5 number for a 7.3x. Want to go ahead and add that? We'll start that. And then I like some Gibbs receiving stuff today. I'll show you why. If I go back to Outlier and look at Gibbs.
Having Bill and Breeze as my starting RBs got me cooked. I feel that, Frizzle. I should tell you one of my starting lineups, bro. I'm about to lose to a team that was trying to lose this week in Dynasty, and I'm, like, depressed.
To me?
Yeah. Because the Browns defense dropped 30. Like, what are we doing? Stupid. Gibbs White, 1.5.
That sounds nice in theory. I just like playing this game through the air. That's my worry.
Having Bill and Breed. Already answered that. Should I still hold BTJ? He kind of sucks fat wiener right now. What do you mean right now, bro? He's been sucking fat wiener all season. I've been trying to tell you. But definitely keep him. You're not going to get the value he's worth. Unless someone sends you something in your inbox. Then I would put it into chat or Discord.
Yeah. So this right here is why I'm on Gibbs receiving stuff today. Tampa Bay is second to last in the NFL in receiving yards allowed per running backs. That is a little inflated because they did play CMC, but they allowed Saquon to go for 30 through the air, Breece Hall to go for 30. Charbonnet went over his line, and even Nick Chubb got there through the air, which Gibbs, we know the Lions will use Gibbs through the air. This season, he's been a little hit or miss with receiving yards.
Hey, bro, that means he's due this game. Am I wrong?
Yeah, if you look at 2024, he was kind of similar way. I think they're going to try to get him involved through the air because of, like I said, the concerns about Tampa Bay's run D. I can definitely see them trying to get Gibbs going in space and get him involved through the air. That's why I like the receiving yard stuff for Gibbs today. Go back to underdog. And his line also got bumped really high from where it was earlier. It was at 23.5. Like getting bumped by 3 yards feels like a lot. So I might not put it on this slip, but I do like some Gibbs receiving stuff today. Mike Evans. What do we think about Big Mike? Any of these lines look nice to you?
Considering I just had that whole spiel about not liking players coming off of big injuries, I don't really like taking anything Mike Evans personally.
Okay.
But I'll look at it. Because he's been out for 8 weeks now? I would hope he's good to go. But he was day-to-day, which is why I'm also
So this is some data on Mike Evans. He's gone over his receptions line 2 of 3 games this season. If you look at Detroit against wide receivers, they've been allowing a decent amount of targets, pretty neutral to receptions. Let's look at yards. Yards. Dang, Mike Evans yet to go over his yards so far this year. But we've seen some big games. Jamar went for 110 against the Lions. Yoshi Voss went for 82. Roma Dunze went for 128 on them in week 1. Just interesting stuff to look at. They're ranking pretty favorable to receiving yards right now through the air. Yeah, maybe The data looks pretty okay on Mike. I am a little worried about like the hit rate stuff, but the matchup in theory is nice.
I think he's healthier than Ibuka, according to what I'm reading. So
I like touchdown. Detroit is ranking pretty favorably to wide receiver touchdowns. You look at who's got there. Worthy's got there. Hollywood Brown twice. Jamar Chase twice. T. Higgins, Rashad Bateman, and Odunze twice. Getting Evans for plus money with that touchdown. I feel good about that. Yeah, Fiery, you can adjust the line and get lower, better payout. That's one thing I do like about Underdog. Let's look at longest reception with Mike, because that is always something that's a little interesting. They have it at 23.5. He hasn't been going over that this year. But it looks like, just looking quickly at this, you see a lot of green here. 30-yard pass, 20-yard pass, 64, 30, 35, 33, 13, 30, 37. A lot of big plays through the air. What is Baker's longest completion at?
oh, I like the tech. You learned from the Bills game yet?
38.5 longest completion.
And what was Mike's at?
22, 23. Let's pull up Baker. I also like this Baker 1.5 passing touchdowns line. He's been just on the money with that so far this season and last year too. And Detroit is allowing a lot of touchdowns through the air. So that might be the way I want to play Baker, but I did already send a slip with that. Long pass completion over 38.5. He's hit that in 3 of 6 games so far. If you look at how some other quarterbacks have done against Detroit, wow, pretty much all quarterbacks except Mahomes have thrown a 35 pass.
Damn.
Yeah.
Mahomes got pretty close. 30.
Mm-hmm.
What's
up, Mando?
Is Mando here? That's good.
Yep. All right. I like the data on the Baker longest completion. Let's run that. We'll add that to the slip. And then let's see. If we add this 40% boost, that gets it to pretty much a 2x, which I feel pretty good about these two right here. What if we add something with Amon-Ra?
Injury report right now.
Let's look at how slot receivers have been faring against the Bucks. We know Amon-Ra solely really plays in the slot, so let's see. All right. We'll start with receiving yards for Amon-Ra. Data doesn't look too good on receiving yards. I will say they just allowed Kendrick Bourne to go 142 against them. JSN for 132. Garrett Wilson went for 84 on them earlier this year. Let's look at receptions. I always like receptions more than I like receiving yard with Amon-Ra. I feel like
a lot of the Lions secondary is out right now. Avante Maddox, Kirby Joseph, Tyrion Arnold, all 3 of them are out. That's their safety and 2 corners.
And Brian Branch is suspended.
Yeah. It looks like their defense in general is just really beat up. 2 D linemen are questionable. 3 of their – I think taking some Bucks receiving lines is a very sharp call. I think I might be off on Mike Evans. I think we might just have to fade my process, even though I just went over that. It feels wrong for, continuity reasons. But I think just that entire secondary being out, I think taking a Bucks receiver is a good idea.
I think I'm liking taking Amon-Ra 6.5 receptions instead of Laporta. We're getting it at a better payout than we're getting Laporta for. And I just think the Lions they always make an effort to get Amon-Ra the ball, right? And in a game like this where it should be high scoring, should be a friendly offensive environment, like I can definitely see Amon-Ra getting there, getting targeted early and often. I think I might just lock in these two right here, put the 40% boost on this, gets it to a nice 2.21x. Throw $20 on that, pays out 45. That feels pretty nice. What do you think about that?
Amon-Ra's receptions, right? Has he been hitting that consistently?
Yeah, so you look at Amon-Ra. I'll move the line to 6.5. He's hit this in 5 or 6 games this season. You look at last year, he's a little more hit or miss with it. In one head-to-head game last year, he went for 11 receptions.
I mean, if there's anyone on the lines, I would want to bet receptions. It'd be Amon-Ra. So
yeah,
I like it.
I'm
just looking at LeBron's comment from when we started this stream. I don't know if you guys have ever seen like the video of the guy pulling up like the bait net, and he's like, "Oh, hopefully like this isn't like 100 gar." LeBron says, "Unless Mike Evans scores 55 earlier at 130." And I'm just looking at this because I feel like Mike Evans about to have like like now I'm like looking at this dude. I feel like Mike Evans like is in a really good spot. Beat up Lions defense, probably going to be a high scoring game. I could see a Bucks receiver like dropping like 20 on your head. I don't know if it's going to be a Buka or Evans or both, and like Tez Johnson with 15. I'm looking at that comment now. It's giving me a weird feeling. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Need a miracle today. Opponent has Montgomery and JSN. I only have Woody Marks left. Hey, bro, Woody Marks, if he's going to have a good night, it's going to be tonight after that post-bye rookie bump, right? So
Seahawks are really tough run defense, though. All right. I think I'm going to lock this one in. Oh, what? Underdog. Come on, dude. Give me a second, fellas. My bad.
Dude, I'm gonna like drink tonight if Mike Evans gets over 30 fantasy points, dude. And I haven't drank since like mid-August, guys.
All right, this is not allowing me to lock it in, so I'm just gonna lock it in on my phone real quick. I'll send this to the Discord. I'll drop the link in the chat if anyone wants to tail it. Feel good about this one. Sorry, fellas. Bear with me.
Are you adding funds right now? What are you doing?
No, I'm locking it on my phone because it's giving me a hard time on my laptop real quick.
You think a JMO, Mike Evans, or we could put Laporta, Mike Evans in mine. I think that's honestly a good, I'll drink to that, real Mando.
All right.
Yeah, let's lock one in for me. I think Laporta and Mike Evans is even like one of my goofy ones. I think that's like honestly a sharp bet. I don't want to just be taking players I like and want to sweat, but I feel like Mike Evans, Laporta might be decent.
Dylan, I like both of those. I think Raleigh. Naylor's been hot, so I think I like Naylor a little better. Raleigh feels a little more risky, but I will say one thing about Cal Raleigh is he always kind of steps up in the big moments. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go yard today at all. Game 7 in the MLB today for anyone who's tapped in with baseball. We got Mariners, Blue Jays going on. Already sent some slips for that in the Discord. If you want to see them, make sure to join the Discord. I'll drop that link for y'all in the chat. It's also in my bio on YouTube. For anyone that's watching this after the fact, drop that link once again. Free to join. All right, Yash, let's cook up your slip. Something else I want to shout before we get into it, before we start your slip, is Nick Chubb under on rush yards. Could be something to look at today.
That's such like, no, not the GOAT, bro.
It is super low, but Seattle.
They got Woody at.
Really tough against the run.
I'm just curious to see how they project this backfield. 36.5 compared to 25. Well, they still think Nick Chubb's lead back.
Mm-hmm.
They were wrong about that last week with Rico and Chubb.
To be honest, I just don't know how much I want to be betting on this Houston-Seattle game. This just feels a lot more like unpredictable to me than the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
I'm not betting on it. I was just interested.
Maybe does CJ Stroud have any sack lines? That's always something I'm interested in looking at with Stroud. Nope, they're not letting me bet anything. What about?
Do they have Noel?
I know. I was just going to say that if Jalen Noel has any lines.
I don't think they do. I think they only have Higgins.
They have 1.5 receptions for plus money.
What's okay? Look at Higgins and Hutch. He's at 1.5, 11.5. 2.5, 29.5.
Hutchinson.
2.5, 20.5. I still think Hutchinson's going to have a bigger role than Noel.
Mm-hmm.
Has Noel even touched the field? Let's look into this. For sure, let's put Laporta receptions and Mike Evans. I'll let you pick the Mike Evans line, whichever one you like.
The 3.5 or 4.5?
Let's do 3. Keep it safe because I just know, bro. I like with Laporta. He's been playing hot. He's about to have a poo-poo game now.
Mike Evans, receptions.
I'll let you pick.
Go reception or targets is kind of nice, and we're getting boosted too.
Yeah, you pick.
You pick. Your slip. Targets, receptions. First quarter reception. Get him the ball.
Get that. Hell no. Give me targets. Give me the 0.03 extra. Bang.
All right.
Damn it. Who did I just say? I was gonna look into. Oh no. Look into Jameson while we're here. Let's see if it's worth playing through Jameson.
Mando, I keep up with it all, man. I'd say I'm most tapped in with NFL, MLB, then NBA in that order. I'm also big on college hoops. I started getting really into like player props with college hoops last year, and there's definitely a lot of stuff that I was able to get an edge on just because not a lot of people are grinding college basketball player props. So stay tuned for that. I'll say for like streaming YouTube stuff, mainly only going to talk NFL just because it's my most knowledgeable, but I'll talk anything in the Discord. Yeah. I'm also a Warriors fan, growing up in the Bay Area, so I kind of have to keep up with the NBA.
Yeah, just a little bit for me, but Curry's my GOAT. I don't care, bro. Curry's my GOAT, and he's the best point guard of all time. And you guys can argue with a wall if you think Magic Johnson still is. As far as this goes, he's only at 25 receiving yards?
Longest.
No. Okay, here's a take. Here's a strong take I want to make. Xavier Hutchinson has been outplaying Jaden Higgins all season, okay? I'm going to make this take real quick because I know you got to get going too, all right? Yep. He's been trending up in just playing, okay? Jaden Higgins also kind of been doing that, all right? Nico Collins weirdly trending. Oh, Nico Collins got hurt though, right?
No, he's playing.
Last week 5, he got like hurt mid-game, question mark?
He might have got banged up, but I don't know if it's a big
because he just had like a big snap drop week 5 from 60 to 40, and that's when Higgins had his big snap jump to 40. So I'm assuming something happened to Nico, then Jaden took those Nico snaps. My problem with this is we're saying Christian Kirk's out, right? And the books are projecting Jaden Higgins as a bigger breakout receiver than Hutchinson. And I don't get why they're doing that. Like, so far this season, I'm not understanding why they would want to project Higgins over Hutchinson when that has not been the case all season. Meanwhile, you have Jalen Noel, who when he plays, he only plays in the slot. And as we know, Christian Kirk plays the slot. And we have Jaden Higgins does not. He plays the outside with Hutchinson. And Hutchinson, so far, is proving they like him more before the bye week. So I feel like Hutchinson and Jaden Higgins are receivers on the Texans. I would bet over Jaden Higgins and Nico, weirdly. That's like kind of a really strange take to have. And I kind of want to add one of them in to reflect that take, but I don't want to ruin the slip because I like this slip.
Yeah, I think the answer is let's just see how this plays out and bet on it next week.
In there. No 11.5. I'm over it. Let's say that he's the better receiver.
Jaden Higgins. This are 2 receptions.
Give me, what do you think? Should we get the little boost, the 2 receptions?
I'd say the 2 receptions.
But the 2 receptions.
Because if he catches a 10-yard pass, you need another reception anyways.
Longer, more macro process. Jalen Knoll, we have the draft rumors that he's just better than Higgins, right? And then, he gets drafted with Higgins. Higgins is not outplaying Hutchinson. Jalen Knoll was competing with Christian Kirk, who was just paid out the wazoo. So I think it could be a Knoll game. I think he could just be the better receiver out of the 2. I think it could just be Knoll's better than Higgins. They're knowing that Higgins is like kind of bummy, playing worse than a 5th round 6'4" guy in Javier Hutchinson.
Okay. He did get more involved last week, to be fair.
Which is why I wouldn't bet Hutchinson over Higgins yet, maybe after the bye, because, post bump, rookie bye, tomfoolery.
This is after their bye.
Yeah, so that's why I won't completely fade Higgins yet, but I will say that before the game. But I won't put my money on that yet.
All right. Do you want to add one more leg, or do you want to just lock in these 3 right
What
here?
is it? What's the multiplier? Have you
4.6?
Yeah, let's put some big boy money on this. Put $10 on there, guys.
All right. Slapping 10 on this. We got Laporta 3.5, Mike 7.5, Noel 1.5. We'll lock that in. That one lets me throw it in, of course. I'll drop the link in the chat if anyone wants to tail that. Drop some other slips in the Discord already today. I'll probably drop some anytime touchdowns before the games get started, but I know I'm going to have Mike Evans. Might look at JMO. Might also look at Laporta too. Yeah.
Real quick. Abbas, I don't know if you heard us.
We said Otten.
We said Otten.
Yeah. Egbuka is back though. Just confirmed. Egbuka's playing today. So
we just think it's a better game environment in general for Otten over Schultz. We think the Houston game might just be low scoring.
Yeah, even if Otten gets less targets, I think he's more likely to score a touchdown, which is what you hope for, ceiling case tight end. All right, guys, we got to get out of here. I'm sure we'll be back on live tomorrow. If not, definitely Wednesday. Make sure to sub to the channel, drop a like on the stream, join the Discord, 100% free to join. We're building a community over there. Really great time. That being said, hit us up in that Discord if you guys got any last-minute sit-start questions before these games kick off. And good luck to everybody who's sweating that last-minute fantasy matchup. Hope you get the dub. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.